Wear like a full head. Like
Yeah, so for length.
Oh, that's a consultation.
Yeah.
How much would you do now? How many?
I would do 6 packs.
6 packs?
How do you figure this out? Can you just sort of...
Unfortunately, that's experience. I just,
Sure.
I can just feel it.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were like looking and seeing like how big your head was, the sections that you need, and you go through and go.
But we have a general, like, if somebody has extremely fine hair and they're going to fill in like a bob, it's usually like 3 to 4 packs.
Okay.
For medium, 4 to
So for thickness, you were
6,
saying?
Yeah, 4 to 6 for like medium to thicker. If you have medium hair and they want a lot of length, we might do 5 to 8. One of my friends, I put 8 packs of tape in.
Okay.
So it's not abnormal. So I'd say for most people with normal density, 5 days max.
Okay.
She just wanted for thickness, not for
Just thickness, 4 to 5.
Yeah, so you just kind of like cut like quarter of it off.
Cool. Yeah, but there's nothing worse than having somebody super excited about coming in and like walking out with like hair like this and then
Because I'm sure like that could make me
it's usually like right there, you know, like where they have
Do
like
you suggest starting like somewhere?
always in the bottom.
Bottom, okay.
You can reuse
You
it.
always make it in the bottom,
And
and
then
it's a pattern. You always make them touch each other like neighbors. And you don't want to you don't want to brick lay them necessarily.
Okay,
You just want them to touch. You don't want them to overlay each other, or you don't want to space, but you just want them to push each other.
Okay.
you go all the way across.
Do you have to cut some in half?
By one full set.
When you do the layer above, another go right on top of that, we much do the same thing across.
So the thicker their hair, the closer they have to go. So yeah, if like somebody has thicker hair, like
Half an
thicker
inch in
shoulders,
between each or something
yeah,
like
you
that.
have to put more in there to create some density. So that's when you get to like 8 to 10 packs. Yeah, that's when it's like a lot.
So medium, it's like me.
But if one was about like I have a bad shade, so I have a bunch of hair missing, but I would probably, yeah, I think I was like 5. Like 5
For
packs.
fullness or like
I just added like a little
length.
length and fullness. Yeah, it was just for like color mostly. Like I had like different colors in it and stuff like that. So yeah, generally most people, 5 is good, 6 is perfect for most people. Unless they have like a lot of hair.
The sections in between, because I don't do the other extensions at all. I just like the idea of these because they're more gentle on the hair. So as far as the next section that you go up,
So
okay?
the finer the hair, the more space you know, growth.
Okay, yes. Yes.
And then the thicker the hair, you want to have less space. So if
Okay,
it's
okay.
really thick hair, like what I would do is take. Sorry. You're fine. It's actually really cool. You would just take like a whole, like maybe a finger.
Okay,
another
one
slice.
finger or a
Yeah.
half finger for, oh wait, no, 2 fingers for finer hair. Okay.
Like the more hair, the closer, the less hair, the further away from each other. Because you have to drop down to get as much hair in that one piece.
Okay.
Like she has this normal medium hair.
Yes.
So we were allowed to only go like that. On fine hair, you would sit down to here.
I see, go
So that's
2
why.
fingers away.
Exactly, yeah. So like
next
super
section will
fine
start
hair, you
to-
do 2 fingers. One
Okay.
medium hair, you do like 1.5. Super thick hair, you do like a 2.
Okay, I gotcha.
You said with more hair, you do more closer together. Okay, I get what you're saying.
You don't want to go above the eyebrows, and you do the same 1/2 inch to 1 inch around the hairline rule. Generally up here it's a little bit, you know, you don't want the bang ledge, so you kind of have to be very custom up here. That's what I specifically ask people, do you wear sunglasses? Do you wear reading
yes,
glasses?
yes.
Because if you put in fresh extensions right here and they
They're
can't
gonna be
put their
like, rip
glasses
them
on,
off.
You kind of just put it under that or right over?
I usually go a little extra space, like almost an inch right here, because even if people don't wear reading glasses, they still kind of want to tuck, and you don't want that sitting right there. Yeah, because it'll stick out. I had one right there one time I put in, and I was like, it just sat right there. So I generally kind of
What about the
go,
angling of them?
they
Around.
always need to be exactly.
Horizontal.
And the
Okay.
reason for that is if you put an angle on there, what happens? Well, it could flip also, and it could pull hair that way. But another thing is, if it's sitting like this, it's going to put all the weight on this corner.
Okay.
So you might damage that hair or hurt your scalp. It might get inflamed or whatnot. You don't want to do that. So that's why you need the even distribution of the weight of the extension.
So you could just like section off the hair, get the hair out of the way that you're not going to do, and then you start at the bottom and you just connect.
Yeah.
Now, if there's some space at the bottom, I mean, because they don't always fit, everyone's head shape is different in the size, you can cut them in half, boom,
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Like a lot of times right here, I like to I like to fit like 2 at the very bottom if they have like a little tiny head, and if they don't, I like to fit 3. But sometimes there's
Got a
that
tiny head.
space where there's like you can fit 2 but not 3, but not 2's not enough, and you're just like, oh.
That half.
So that's when you take the one. And you take this little one right here.
Cut it.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't want to take your scissors and just snip it in half because that's when you can lose hair.
Oh.
You don't
You
want
want to go right in between threading.
well, actually, what you want to do is snip it almost to the other side. Almost. So you want to snip it and almost to the other side, and then you pop it apart. Because what happens is, if you actually cut through, you almost no, it's not the thread.
like how
You
we
always
cut ours.
accidentally cut your hair. So these extensions, you would want to.
Okay. Get your ring out.
So you want to snip it to where it's just barely,
Hanging on.
absolutely barely hanging on. And then you pop it, and that way you don't accidentally cut any hair out.
Gotcha.
Because when you go like this, go like that, and then there's always like
Sometimes
little
there's always some
hairs.
hair that comes out.
There's
It's a
always
waste.
little hairs, and then it sounds silly, but if you do it on a whole bunch of them,
You're losing some.
you lose grams, and then you lose weight,
Sure.
and then you lose
And then-
evenness, and it doesn't look cute because it doesn't line up. You can't even connect it because it doesn't line up right.
When would you want to only do 1 layer?
If somebody only wants like a pop of color, or if again they have super fine, like super fine hair, and it's too much to put like a little sandwich there. Sometimes it really is too bulky. You wouldn't think it because it's really fine, but if somebody has that fine of hair,
I have really fine hair in here.
That little-
Very fine.
yeah, it can feel really bulky. So that's when you would just put 1 in. So you put 1 in like that, and then when you lift it up, when you would normally take that other one and put the second one underneath, then what you do is we have clear backside taping that is just like this, and all you do is lift this extension up, and you put the clear, it's a little tiny see-through tape that's on there, and you just seal it.
Okay, so you wouldn't have to use both sides.
Nope.
Okay.
So if somebody's trying to stretch the extensions, the money a little bit, and it's maybe just for color, never for thickness, you can't get away with that.
No.
But if it's like just color
So you
or just around the face, and maybe you're just kind of filling in some like face framing or, you know, that like weird notorious hole that people get right there,
Yeah.
then you could use like a 1 piece. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
But usually like little fun pops with color, stuff like that. That's when I'll do like 1. Or like younger girls, you know,
Yeah.
like mom, they talk mom into coming in for something, which by the way is addictive. The parents hate you, but the kids love you.
I bet.
Here, little girl. You're like, Mom. I'm like, it's pink. She's like, I see that.
And then you're like, remember, and then they want to dye their hair pink.
Yeah,
They don't
but
want them
I'm like,
to.
well, if you don't want, I'm like, you can just pop these in every couple months, and then they do, yeah. That's how I started introducing everybody to extensions, honestly, was color. It was breast cancer awareness. We did it for the pink hair extensions.
Yeah.
That's how I got into hair extensions in like 08.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the only reason I even thought about it. And then I started doing it because nobody in the company that I was with, I used to work for a company down in the Villages. It was very large. There was like 120 of us. Nobody did extensions.
Really?
Not one girl did extensions. So I was like, I'm going to go to extension class.
Oh,
They were like, why? That's weird. And I was like, because you don't do it. And I'm gonna. So I went and I talked to like 10 other girls in there. So I got the discounted class price, you know, didn't tell them. And I went in there and learned everything. And then I set up that thing. And before you knew it, half the company was doing it. And we all started doing that. And it was $10 a pop, they called it.
Oh.
And then we had a little jar up top, and they would always put money in there too. And then we would go do the Relay for Life and stuff like that with them, and all wear
Aw.
pink. And
Aw.
the husbands would put them in their beards.
Oh,
They
that's
went
funny.
full throttle. They would let us do fusion on their beards and stuff.
Oh my
Like a couple of the dudes would like put the tapes right here. It was
That's funny.
it was funny. They did it in good spirit. Now the second they were done, they're like, "Get us off."
Yeah.
But they were happy to do it. Firefighters.
stuff is so intense.
Yeah. Actually, if you do you guys have any clue about that tape? Why it's so strong, like freakishly strong? So that tape is actually made by a company called Walker, and it is in the medical field. So that is actually medical grade adhesive tape,
Oh, wow.
which is why it's so strong, because it is meant to repel what water, like stuff
Yeah.
that's in you. So it works really well. I'm like, I like that stuff. My mom works in surgery. She tells me about that all the time, and then I kind of have to laugh. I'm like, yeah, I work with that too. She's like, oh my God, it's not the same thing. I'm like, it is the same thing. I just hold hair together instead of skin. So, but that's why it's so strong. It's because it's meant to hold people together instead of like stitches and stuff like that. Is of course is our version. But it's the same company, so super strong, and it's also not like a sticker tape. There are some companies out there that have adhesive that is just straight up like adhesive, and that's why when you take them out, they leave a lot of sticky residue.
Oh yeah.
It's really hard to get out.
Yes.
Usually, like only some kind of alcohol can break that down.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to make, and it's a lot less expensive to make. And I understand why, but that's also why
It's not good for your hair.
So you take that out, you don't notice a lot of residue on the hands.
You have a touch in there the older they are, you know. Yeah, I've never had a problem getting it out though. I put it in there, and this before the oil. Like I take this out, lay it down, and I immediately take a comb. And then, like I said, when I go back, I cleanse their hair. Personally, I like to use Brazilian blowout cleansing shampoo, and that gets everything out for me.
Cool.
So.
Do you have an assistant to help you, like clean those before you put them back in?
I'm a one-woman band. I do it all. I'm just like super structured on my time. Like if I know that they're coming in for that, I have everything laid out exactly. I wash their hair the night before. I lay it out on the towel with patterns. Do you guys ever do that? Your hair color patterns? It helps tremendously. So you're gonna find your own pattern, but for me, this helped me a lot. There's two different things you can do. One, some people make their own hair extension holders out of their brushes, and it's really easy to take all of your extensions and just stick them on there. When they're the individuals, it's a lot more useful because this is just one piece. But you know, you can stick like 50 pieces on there without having your guest work, which isn't always so cute when they're just like sitting there going like this, like they're paying you to do it. I don't really like to make them work. If I have to, I will, but I don't like to. So generally what I do is either put them on my brush, or if it's the fusions or an I-tip or something like that, I will lay it out on towel, and you start at the bottom. So what I'll do is I like to do 2 to 3 different colors on people, kind of like as if we were coloring their hair. So a base color, highlight, low light. That's why I always do 2/3 of the hair of the color of their base color, and then I always add either a highlight or a low light or something like that, just for like some movement, like 1, maybe 2 shades off, just like we naturally would. And generally what I do is I lay all of those out. So I'll do like the first 2 rows, like the dark base color. The next row, next 2 rows, I'll alternate the dark base color with like the next, and then the next 2 rows, solid, and then the next 2 rows I do the lighter and then the highlight. And what I do is I lay all of those out on a towel. And then I do the next 2 rows, lay those all out on a towel. And then when you're done, you can just very carefully lift that towel up and you have it all laid out.
Nice.
So you walk in, you have 2 trays, everything's set there, everything's done. And if they're coming in that day, like let's say she's coming in and she has a whole bunch of extensions in that we just put in 6 weeks ago, and she's got like roots like this, it's just like all over the place. So we're gonna take those all out, set those over there, and I'm going to color her hair. And the second I get done with her hair, I'm going over there, and that's when I'm gonna take off all that tape, scrape it all
So
down.
you do it in her process, she'll have that booked out. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and I use Redken Color. It's a 45-minute process for color, so it kind of works for me. I can kind of whip that out real quick, you know, put them back on there. They're still in the pattern that I took them out. You got to think ahead, like, you know, the simple stuff like that. That'll save you so much time.
yeah.
I never used to do that. It would take me forever, and I was like, God, why do people do this? But that was me. It was me. So I figured that if you just lay it all out and prepare everything like the night before, just like, you know, we clean up everything like that, prepare for the day, the next day, so you can walk in and not have to worry about it. I do the same thing. Like, literally, everybody's like, what are you doing? We're cleaning up. I'm like, I'm ready for tomorrow. I got it all lined up, my stuff everywhere. They're like, you're so crazy. But I walk in there tomorrow
And then you're like, bam.
I don't have
If they're
anything
not
to
getting
do.
color, like, do you just prefer them to come back like the next day or something?
If
so
they're
you have
not?
time? If they're not getting color, like if they're just want to take them out and then put the same ones right back in.
What's the process of that?
It depends, you know, sometimes if they don't mind, I'll have them come in and I'll take them out, and then they'll have their real appointment like later that day or something like that. If they weren't getting color, yeah, I would probably prefer to like take it out one day and then actually make their appointment the next day, because otherwise it's kind of weird to have them sitting there or like come back in an hour. That's kind of, that's also though why I like to have 2 sets.
Yeah.
I know that's like a but you know,
Yeah.
you can kind of, once they know that they have to sit there sometimes, they don't, that patience runs dry and they're like, I'm just gonna buy more hair.
What about like base color and stuff like that? So is it like if they come in like every 4 weeks for their base color, do you take the extension out every time they come in?
If they're every 4
Like they have
weeks,
gray and stuff.
what I do is I tell them ahead of time, you know, you wouldn't want to take these out too soon because
Yeah.
that can also cause damage.
Right.
So say they're every 4 weeks and they don't want to take them out. Generally, if the colors match well enough, we color around them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you get that color in there, you will cause slippage. Like
Yeah,
we tried to
that's
do
what I
some the
was
other day
thinking.
on one of the girls that I popped some in, and we were like
Okay.
so trying to just do quick,
Yeah.
slapped it around there. We avoided it really good, but when we washed it out, it still got
You
in
could
there, and
see
it
it,
still
yeah.
took me. I still had to take them out and retape them.
So you just color around those ones and then cover their gray the next time.
Yeah,
or
I
something
generally
like that.
do their
Okay.
hairline, their part, all of up here, and
Okay.
if it matches well enough, like I said, I will totally avoid. I won't even tap in between. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Okay.
I try not to do that, obviously, unless they're getting everything replaced.
Yeah, if it's like like most
Unless
people
they're
like
really,
every 6
really gray, I don't think. it would
Yeah,
be-
that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I
What's that?
have somebody that
yeah.
Yeah.
I do their
have a
whole
lot
hairline,
of
like I said, their
people
parts,
that
everything
touch up their
except
extensions or their highlights.
right there.
Get the color on,
Okay.
don't color.
How do you
Oh,
order
that
it
area.
if you do so
Okay.
many different
I
colors?
don't know.
I got you.
Like,
You do the
what
one
kind of,
time,
like,
they're generally
You can't
people,
really
if
see
it's
it
not somebody that I
because
know, I
it's
talk to them if they
Yeah.
would like color to customize
Yeah.
a little bit, and if they usually want something, like highlights or lowlights or something, so I know what I did, so I can order that easily. Or I know that I'm gonna gloss them, so like sometimes I'll do lowlights and then highlights, and then the day of the extensions, they'll come in and I'll make sure we need to gloss her hair this color, like I'll wait till that day, like I'll do our color and highlights the next day, and if we're not sure of it when those highlights come in, then I'll hold it up and go, oh, well, that's 7 GB, let's go, gloss your hair, dry it, and I put the extensions in.
So what about like when you're ordering packs? Like say you're gonna throw a couple highlights in her.
I would do that
Order that.
first and know that. I would do that day and then order the hair. But yeah, generally, if somebody gets extensions, they normally don't just walk off the, in off the street. You usually have time to be able to talk to them about their color, and generally most people that get extensions, unless they just absolutely love their hair color, wouldn't mind having a little something done to it. I usually tell them to customize it to blend the colors. It's easier. If they absolutely don't want any, then I just make sure that they know, nothing is factual. I'm going to order this. I'm pretty 99.9% sure. But if they come in that day and it's a shade off, you gloss it.
But I'm saying like, how
Gloss
much
it
do
after
you
you-
know to order? Say they have a couple highlights and then they're all over brunette, but they have highlights. Do you order like majority of dark?
Yeah, I mean, like if I just like foil like around the face, like maybe just like a couple face framers or whatever, I'll order like maybe 4 or 5 like 4 packs of like dark brown and like 1 pack of like say like a 6 and then 1 of like a highlight.
Okay.
Like that. And then like I said, if you get there and you're like, I don't need this many highlights, you can take half those off and gloss them. Put them over there and then you have caramel.
Okay.
You
For
know?
like next time or something.
Yeah. Or if you're like, hey, I have these, do you want me to pop some in?
Oh.
You have brown hair, you have blonde hair, let's pop a little, little caramel behind it. They're like, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
They're usually all excited by that time. They're like, sure, whatever you want, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. You're over there like, psh. So yeah. Anything else?
I mean,
you
are the
think of?
colors really that much off?
No.
Okay.
They really don't. I haven't had any problem with fadage. Actually, one of the girls I work with, we just did a test. Like, she used and abused the daylights out of one of these. Like, washed it with Pantene, everything you can think of. And it was the, I want to say it was the black to silver that we have. It's the black to silver, I believe, and it was still, the black was still perfect. The silver, after 6 weeks of constant, I think she said Pantene Pro V, Garnier Fructis, Tresemme, Dove, and something else, and she used Dawn dish soap also, I believe.
Oh,
Like we literally like rampaged this thing, and then I like took it out, and then we like scrubbed it with like hotel shampoo and dried it, and it was still silver. I mean, it was like angry. It was severely angry. It was like, but it was still silver. It was still silver. So we took pictures and sent it in there, and that was like, she's like, literally do everything you can to ruin this, and we did, and it was still there. I mean, throw a flat iron in there and you could have gotten away with it, You probably could have. It wasn't pretty looking at it like this, but it would have worked, so. Yeah. Okay, maintenance. I'm like, fly. So it's just really easy. Sulfate-free shampoo. You do not want to ever put extra heat or conditioner on the scalp next to the bonds because it can cause slippage.
So,
And
and
if
blow drying and things like that.
no
you just
extreme heat here. So when I had
pull
them,
far away and just aim it more below
when I
that.
had them, I took my hair like this on cool and dried my roots
Oh, okay.
like this. And generally, if I had time, I mean, you know, we don't always know we're going somewhere cool, but like generally, if I'm gonna do my hair, I would have done it the night before. And I sound like an old lady saying this, but I sit there and I put all of my hair up, and I would leave all my extensions down and sit in my living room underneath my fan. Like the thing, it would like dry. I would like eat dinner and stuff, and then I would just dry my roots and stuff on the light, the cool setting, and then the rest of my hair normal. And then what I do at night is 2 ponytail braids with conditioner on the end sometimes if you're gonna rinse it out in the morning. But if not, you just want to make sure that your root is dry, like at least half of it. Because
And when you
don't want it extra
shampoo
dry.
though, when you shampoo your hair in general, I mean, most people are used to going in there and, you know, it's different with
It's
the other
generally
extensions
in
because you
rows.
can go around with your fingers.
It's like this in rows. When I had them, I kind of went like
okay.
this.
In between the
Yeah,
sections.
you feel it, so you
You
kinda
learn
go
how
like
to
this.
slide in between.
Yeah, you got the
Okay.
head swing like this. You
Okay.
gotta
Yeah.
wash it
Gotcha.
like that, and then you just you just feel them, and after a
Okay,
couple
and then
washes.
just on the ends, just like that.
Yep. Yep, that's
Okay,
all.
cool.
And,
Is that
generally,
what's different?
and you know, you don't have to, you don't have to wash your hair
Sure,
like that.
exactly.
So generally, I would
No.
just kind of pull the suds down a little bit and then rinse.
Okay,
Not
gotcha.
excessive hot. You know, I didn't do that again in Florida in June. I was riding bikes, so I was taking extra care of it. But no hot water, no hot heat,
Yeah.
no conditioner on the scalps.
Okay, cool.
That's about it. Just got to make sure. A lot of people, I think, when they curl their hair, they try to curl it up real close, and they don't realize that that heat travels. So every now and then, a couple girls will be like, "Oh, this one's slipping," and it's always, I can tell, it's always their right hand on their left side of their head pulling it like this, and I can always tell, and that's right where their extensions slide. And I tell them, I'm like, "How do you curl your hair?" And they go, "Like this." And I'm like, "Right there." And they go, "Oh." I did that. I'm like, yep. So I did it myself.
with it.
Yeah. So what I would do is, let's see, my hair is a little bit longer than this when I have my extensions in, but we'll use this for an example. Say I had in extensions like this. Generally, I would start curling my hair around here so that I could curl that first wave in there so that when you brush it out, you don't have these little curls bebopping up here and then all this luxuriousness hanging down. So generally, yeah, I would take my hair almost to the end and start curling my hair where it was and then brush it out, and it laid nice. So just don't get in there and curl, too much. I always tell people just to blend their hair into the extension. A lot of people will style their hair separately from the extensions because in their head it's separate, but that's when everybody can see it. So that's why I always take vertical sections like this, and I always would curl my hair back right underneath where the bend would be, where they both connect, and I never had a
Did they curl good?
Yeah.
They
I
stay
use-
well?
Yeah. I did mine every 3 days. The third day it was more like a beachy wave. I didn't have a problem with it. I used a ceramic curling iron 450.
Would you say it's damaging at all? Because at times fusion and all that can be damaging. Whether
To the hair.
Yeah.
Um,
And timing can be.
I mean, everything can be. Personally, I find it to be human error usually.
Okay.
Either us not doing something or them doing something, generally is what I find. So usually human error are either us putting in the extension on not enough hair. So this hair is struggling to hang on, and and it's just like, it's popping. So that's us. So we have to make sure that we don't do that to them. Another thing is people just brushing their hair, like not holding it.
I was gonna ask about the brush. Like, do you tell them to recommend like a certain brush or anything? Okay.
This little babe right here. So this one is actually meant to help with like your natural hair that's gonna, it's gonna naturally fall out,
Yeah.
the natural stuff. So this stuff actually helps kind of like not have everything get all tangled up.
Okay.
It's very bendy,
Okay.
so they don't get stuck in between your scalp and the
Yeah.
extensions. So when you go like this, if you do have a knot or if your extensions are a little grown out and you feel that, that will glide over it. So when you pass that around and
Yeah, because
see.
we always told them to use like the wet brush, and I didn't know if that
Yeah,
was like.
the wet brush is better than a normal brush, but that still has those little loops that can still, it's not as painful. I mean, if you don't have
boar
anything
bristle
else.
helps. Okay.
Yeah, that one has the boar bristle and those little harder ones in there. So the boar bristle helps with like the natural losing hair, and then the other ones help brush it. And it's actually, we recommend and actually tell people to brush their hair 2 to 4 times a day. It helps keep all the natural oils, blending naturally and stuff like that. You don't want your hair to be all shiny and then this to be nothing.
Yeah.
And it just, everything, it just needs to be brushed all the time, especially here, it's so windy. Your hair flies all over the place. It's really weird, like you go some other place, like Ohio, I go to a show there, and it's like
So your hair's perfect
there's
all
like
day.
no wind, no nothing. They can like, you know, they don't even need hairspray. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I go into California, and their hair's like all sleek and stuff, and I'm like, my hair won't go anywhere.
I know.
I'm like teasing and stuff. It's just, it's different everywhere.
Yeah.
So some people are like, I'm not brushing my hair, and then other people are like, where's my brush?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
personally had that thing in my purse. I had one in my car. I had one in my station. I had one in my other purse.
Yeah.
I think I had one in my trunk on accident.
Yeah.
I was always like digging through stuff trying to brush my hair because I didn't want to like go like this and have a piece of weave string out. You know?
Yeah.
Wait, what if we just sell them, you sell
My
them
price
lift
lift.
and they get a set in?
I added in there, yeah. When I order their hair, I order their removal, their remover little tube, and I order them a brush because that's in my instructions that they need to use it.
She
So
said when they come for the consult, she has them pay for the hair, the removal, and the brush, and she upcharges 20% for all those things.
that's my deposit, and then they come in the day of their appointment. When I get my confirmation that the hair's been ordered, if it's thank you, if that's how this is going, how they come in and they order it, the second I get their order confirmation, if they've already left, that's when I call them and say, hey, it's confirmed. I got an email, says it's gonna be here in, you know, it gives you an estimate, let's say Thursday. I don't ever make the appointment on that Thursday or that Friday.
Just to make
I
sure.
just don't. If they're like in a super big hurry, I'll overnight it and I still wait till the next day because I did that once. And the lady was sitting in my chair and she's like, I'm not moving until they get here. Well, she sat there
Oh.
3.5 hours. We swept around her. She was not budging.
Oh my
I like had to take a deep breath all over again. I was just like, oh my God, why did I do that? So please, time is necessary. Yeah, like seriously, just do it like the next day. If it says a time of Thursday, generally, I've never had it come later. If it says Thursday, it's either there Thursday or like Wednesday. But that one day that it says it's going to be there at noon, it might be there too. You never know. One time I had a FedEx truck breakdown. Had nothing to do with any other company. It was literally the dude was on the side of the road sitting there.
You're like, where are you? I'm coming.
Yeah, because I called and I was like, my lady's hair is in that truck, what's going on? And they're like, what? I'm like, it's hair, it's really important. And they called me back and they gave me the coordinates and everything. They're like, it's on the side of the road, nobody's going anywhere. I was like, oh, okay, she can't eat for that.
Yeah.
So I forwarded that email so she could see I was not lying. So yeah, just plan everything.
When you replace the hair, you no matter what, you replace it all. Because sometimes with extensions, we'll kind of do like 10 here, 20 there. With this, you pretty much
I
do the
don't
whole
do
thing
that
every
because
time.
there's different reasons personally why I do that, and I'm sure there's different answers from certain people.
It's messy.
I do not do that. I don't let them tell me what I'm going to do.
Okay.
They don't know. And if it's long enough where they've had 10, 20, 15, 30 of them fall out, it's time for something to be done, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing correctly. Like they're either not maintaining them right, or they're doing something. But generally in the first month or two, it's not normal to lose more than 10% at the most. So if there's somebody that's like, oh, 20 of these have fallen out, can you just pop 20 more in? The main reason is no, is because you're gonna have all of those others that are grown out this much and then 20 real fresh ones. Well then, this is gonna start falling out, well then you put 20 over there, and then you,
That's normally what happens.
yeah. And then you just never have a start or an end, it's never fresh, like one side's pretty, one side's not. I don't do that. So I'll take them out, if there's hair that can be saved, I always say, hey, this is good hair, we'll use this for your extra. I put it in a little bag, I have like a little folder. It's kind of like a kid's little bag with like those little Ziplocs, the little folders. I write their name on it in Sharpie and I put it in there. And I keep their hair generally for about 6 or 7 months if I don't hear from them.
So say they buy 2 sets right when you do it.
Mhm.
How long is that going to last them? Those 2 sets.
You can use each set about 3 times.
So how often are you replacing?
About 6 weeks, give or take. 6 to 8 weeks. 6 is the safe side. You can do about 2 months.